guilty verdict that they heard read in that courtroom yesterday. And for a lot of people, it started to feel a little bit like this moment that you see on your screen, bringing back the memories of another sensational trial 16 years ago. That moment, O.J. Simpson was found not guilty in the murders of his ex-wife, Nicole Brown Simpson, and her friend, Ron Goldman.
The crime of murder. Superior Court of the State of California, County of Los Angeles, in the matter of the people of the State of California versus Orenthal James Simpson. We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant, Orenthal James Simpson, not guilty of the crime of murder in violation of Penal Code Section 187A, a felony, upon Ronald Lyle Goldman, a human being, as charged in Count 2 of the information.
Boy. And across the courtroom, you saw that, Ron Goldman and his daughter, as she dissolved in tears in that moment, sobbing uncontrollably. Joining me now is Ron Goldman's father, Fred Goldman, with his reaction to yesterday. Mr. Goldman, thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
Welcome. Did you watch the verdict yesterday?
I did not. I certainly heard it, but I didn't watch it, no.
What was your reaction?
Well, you might be surprised, but I was not surprised. I followed the trial, and it didn't surprise me because there just wasn't the hard evidence that I think is necessary to convict someone. There were certainly issues that she lied about, but the hard evidence was missing. And for that reason, I just wasn't surprised. What I was surprised at is the relationship that people seem to have taken. I understand the emotional reaction to the Anthony verdict. A child is gone, and we want someone to be held accountable. But the reality is, in our case, there was tons of evidence, hard evidence, to prove his guilt, and he was found not guilty and got away with murder.
You know, Marcia Clark came out and spoke about this. She said she thinks that this was even worse in terms of the job that the jury did in assessing the evidence in this case than in the O.J. case. She disagrees with you on that. What do you think about that?
Well, then we will disagree. I fail to see the hard evidence that existed in the Anthony case. It just wasn't there. And if it just wasn't there, then unfortunately the verdict is not what people want to hear, because we want to see someone, as I said a second ago, be held accountable, and that didn't happen.
Yeah. You know, a lot of people have said that we live in sort of a CSI society now, that juries want, you know, hard DNA evidence, that they want that kind of proof at this stage of the game, and that circumstantial cases, which, you know, there's a huge judicial history based on circumstantial cases in this country that held up just fine for many, many years, but that juries don't accept that notion anymore. What do you think?
Well, to some degree, I would agree with that, but you know, I'm not even sure there was circumstantial evidence that was solid enough in this case to convict her. Look, there's a child that's gone, and I want to see somebody held accountable as well. The system works sometimes, and the system works more often than not. I would have loved to have seen someone held accountable, and I don't know that her mom was the one that was going to be held accountable.
Yeah. It's interesting that you say that you believe in the system after what you and your family went through. Even given all that, you didn't lose your faith in the American judicial system after that.
Well, I know that on a day-to-day basis, there's people convicted of crimes correctly every single day. Does it work 100% of the time? No, but I think the majority of the time it works. It worked in our civil case without question. We all want to see somebody pay the price, so to speak, when there's a crime done, and I'm certainly one of those. But if the evidence just doesn't prove it, then I think we have to accept what happened here. I don't like it any more than anybody else that no one's going to go to prison for this, but that's our system.
Yeah. All All right. Fred Goldman, thank you very much for taking some time and
Thank
being
you.
with us today. It's good to talk to you, sir. All right, Fred Goldman, who knows the feeling all too well of being in that kind of courtroom and getting that verdict. So we will take a look ahead, and we'll be right back here with more on America Live. Stay with us.